Thanks for that. My latest honest to goodness bulk order has arrived. 4 big boxes. Let's take them inside and I'm going to explain how you can order in bulk like this and we'll open it up together. Woohoo! Our boxes have all arrived and I've got 4 really big boxes of lots of goodies from Honest to Goodness, and thankfully they've delivered all of these so I don't actually have to go and carry a pickup from somewhere of these big heavy boxes. All I got to do now is get them inside and then let's open them together. That definitely worked up a bit of a sweat. Heavy, that is exactly what these boxes are. So just keep that in mind if you are doing bulk ordering, that you do need the ability to move around those big bulk items that you're buying. Now, in terms of buying in bulk, this is something that I've been doing for a few years now, and I've found it's quite a good way to get good quality bulk items at a good price. So if I compare like the unit price to the price that I pay at the supermarket, you know, it's always better buying produce in bulk like this, particularly with the Honest to Goodness brand. The way that I buy this is actually to go online. And when you go online, you can either kind of buy as a wholesale customer, and I think you have to buy over about $500 worth of product, all in kind of one hit. You also, I see now, you need to register. And I'm pretty sure the last time I did a wholesale order, I don't recall registering. So I don't know if that's changed, and I do see there's a lot of like buying groups and stuff now, so that may be a little bit different to previously when I did the wholesale order, but maybe my mind is just getting foggy, who knows. But this time around what I did is I didn't want to go through that exercise and I just did a retail purchase. So buying retail through Honest to Goodness is really as simple as going to the website. And once you go to the website, you can kind of go to the shop area, you can select all your items, then you register with an account, and then you can reuse that account, of course, later. And there is a little tip that I wanted to share with you guys, and that is on the shipping. So you'll notice when you go onto their website that it talks about like free shipping. If you spend over, I think it's like $150, there is this little kind of thing that you don't often sometimes notice straight off, and that's that it will charge you for shipping if you go over $150 if the weight goes over, I think it's 30 or 35 kilograms. And when you're buying bulk items, it is actually really easy to go over that amount. Now, what I did for this order was probably a little bit cheeky. What I did is I actually made 2 orders. And I played around with the weights so that I could get the order underneath the weight for both of those orders so that I got free shipping. If I hadn't have done that, it was actually going to cost me, I think it was about $30 odd it came up with first of all. And I went, whoa, hang on a second. I thought it was supposed to be free for shipping. And then when I kind of worked out that there was that little proviso on weight, that was when I kind of changed around my order. So hopefully that little tip helps you if you do a bulk order through Honest to Goodness. Now, I'm not sure if this is both of my orders that have arrived today or if this is just one of my orders. So what I think we need to do is actually start opening this up together, and we'll kind of lay it all out on the table, and yeah, we'll have a bit of a closer look at what we've got in these boxes. It's always like Christmas when you get boxes of stuff like this. Invoice sent to email. That's handy. And yes, I do think I've seen an email there with the invoice. Let's have a bit of a look inside as to how it's packaged. This is always fun with one hand. Probably get the camera stand out in a second. There we go. So that's the inside of one of the boxes, just so you can see how it's packaged. I won't make you watch me open all of these up together. What I'll do is we'll open them and lay them on the table so you can see what we've got. But I just wanted to show you how it's kind of packaged up. So I've got brown paper just so that things don't move about. And then we've got things like our bulk bags. Woohoo! That's my raw cane sugar. If you saw my video that I made on the chocolate raspberry sundae topper, which is absolutely incredible, you would have seen I was really sad because I was out of my raw cane sugar. And I absolutely love this stuff. So I'm so happy to have that back. And you can see they've also squeezed another item in here as well. So let me open up these other boxes and then we'll have a peek inside those together too. There we go, it's all now laid out. Starting off, we've got my organic raw cane sugar. You're probably thinking, why on earth would somebody buy 25 kilos of organic raw cane sugar? Well, if you watch a lot of our videos, you probably know I do a lot of preserving. So a big bag like this one here is super helpful for someone that does particularly things like your jams and syrups and cordials and baking and stuff like that, where you do tend to go through a fair bit of sugar. And this is a really nice flavored sugar. And that's why I like to get this one and have it on hand in bulk. And what I do with that is I basically store it in those big, I'm trying to think of the size, I think they're 20-litre containers from Bunnings. You've probably seen them in some of my other videos. No, actually it's the 30-litre one that I use for this one. And yeah, you can get those from Bunnings. They've got a bit of a screw top to them and that keeps your sugar nice and fresh and bugs and stuff out. Actually, you might be wondering, do I freeze my bags of stuff? I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I do see on other people's kind of shares of their bulk purchases that quite often people put them in their deep freezers and stuff. My deep freeze isn't big enough for that sort of thing, and it's usually full of meat and, you know, products that I've harvested out of the garden, you know, that I'm trying to keep there until I've got enough to preserve. So there's often not really the room to put anything like this in. And I've not lost anything in because I use my study to store this stuff. I've never lost anything to bugs or anything like that. I'll probably jinx myself now by saying that, but yeah, for me, I don't tend to freeze these big bulk packages of flours and sugars and stuff like that. All right, let's move on to the next thing that I bought, and that is the flour. So I've got 2 different big bags of flour that I've bought this time. Although not as big as sometimes I buy, I do quite like this size here. These ones here are the 12.5 kilo bags. This one here is a 5 kilo bag. Now, because of juggling around the shipping weights, normally where I would have got a 12.5 of my organic premium white baker's flour, I did end up going with just a 5 kilo this time around. So I probably paid a little bit more in the unit price, but definitely was worth it for saving on the shipping. With the organic premium white baker's flour, I tend to use this one here for things like bread making and also pizza dough. Yeah, so whenever you see my shares where we're doing, you know, family pizza night and stuff like that, the white baker's flour is really the best one. I was completely out of flour, and recently I had been using my whole wheat flour only. And whole wheat I find is okay when you put it in with a bit of the white baker's flour, but recently I've run out of this flour and I had been using just the whole wheat and I was finding that wasn't as tasty. So I'm definitely glad to have the white baker's flour back again. The other flour that I've got is the organic plain white flour. So that one there is better for things like when I'm doing cake making, you know, basically any baking products and stuff like that. So that's why I've got that one there, and that is a 12.5 kilo size. Now you probably notice I've got some tomato products here. I've got, if we're getting close, some organic tomato puree, and I've also got some organic cherry tomatoes. Let's spit that out right. Now the reason I got these tomato purchases was not because I was going out of my way to buy them. It was kind of a bit of a impulse purchase. When you go onto the Honest to Goodness website and you go into the shop, there's a bit of a section there which is for specials. And sometimes you can get some absolutely incredibly priced specials, and both of these were just that. I think I paid about $2 or $2.10 for each one of kind of the bottles and cans. They were just so cheap compared to normal, and that's why I couldn't really pass them up. And I did need some tomato products because we don't tend to produce enough tomatoes out of the garden. All of my canned tomato product has been used for the year with the exception of some of my pizza sauce. So I really did need a bit more tomato product in the cupboards. And that will definitely keep me going for a little bit. And hopefully we end up getting a decent tomato crop this year and I can start putting a few more of my own preserves on the shelf. Next, we've got our maple syrup. And this one here is a 1 kilo of organic maple syrup, Canadian A grade dark. It is a beautiful flavored maple syrup. This time around, I only got a 1 litre though. The last order that I did, I got a 4 litre box, which is a better price per kind of unit, but I didn't get to finish it all before the last of it actually started spoiling a bit. So this time around, I've gone for a smaller amount in the 1 litre. I can keep that in the fridge and hopefully we get through all of it this time because I definitely don't like wasting. Next, we've got our Australian pecans, and the reason I got some pecans is because it's coming up to Christmas time and I was thinking maybe a bit of pecan pie might be quite nice, so that's why I've got those so they're ready in the cupboard if I get that moment of will to actually make a pecan pie. Next, I've got a whole bunch of nuts and seeds. So here we've got some sunflower seeds, there's a kilo of those, also some black chia seeds. And what do we got over here? You probably noticed I've got this very big box of almonds. And I've also got some desiccated coconut. The reason I got all 4 of those is because I've been doing a lot of homemade granolas. And when I do the homemade granola, I kind of put in the oats, and I've still got plenty of oats, which is why I didn't get any oats with my current bulk order. I did get some of those with the last order, but I've still got some, so I didn't need to buy more. But what I do is I use the oats, I put in things like the nuts and the seeds and the coconut, kind of mix that through, and I toast that in the oven to make up a beautiful granola for the family, and especially for the hubby, because good for the good old heart health. With that, I do go through a bit of seed and nut, so buying in bulk like this is good. The other thing is, again, you've probably noticed, huge thing of nuts. This is 10 kilos here. The reason I've bought so much is because hubby eats this at night as a bit of a snack. So I want to make sure that he's got plenty of nuts on hand to be able to grab a handful, have that as a snack in the evening. With the almonds at Honest to Goodness, they've got lots of different varieties, and these ones here are the insecticide-free ones. They also do organic ones, and I will say the organic ones do get pretty expensive. The insecticide-free ones kind of rules out a lot of those really nasty sprays, but it still comes in at a fairly good price once you're kind of buying in bulk like this. So that's why I've got the really super big box of those. Now, back to the coconut. The other reason I wanted to make sure I've got coconut back in the cupboard is because it's, again, coming up to Christmas, and we do lots of baking around Christmas time. One of the things I love making is roux balls. You might have seen the video I did on that last year where I shared the roux ball recipe that we make, and we roll those in the desiccated coconut. With Christmas, it just wouldn't be the same without having those. It was something that my grandma used to always make for us, and it was always in the fridge, and you'd kind of open up the fridge and there'd be this little box with lots of little kind of treats in it, including things like the roux balls, and they were always a bit of a favourite for me. So it's her recipe, and it wouldn't be Christmas without kind of making up some of those and having them in the fridge for the family. And last but not least here is some dal. So chana dal. This is basically just to have a bit of a side when I'm doing Indian cooking, if I'm making butter chicken or tandoori chicken or something like that. A little bit of dal on the side is nice. I've pretty much just got scraps left in the cupboard at the moment of the bag that I bought last time. We don't make it an awful lot, so a smaller bag like this, 1/2 kilo, is fine. For our family, that'll probably do us 2 meals, to be totally honest. And that's quite a tasty one that I like, so that's why we got some more of that as well. So there's our latest food order from Honest to Goodness. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing about what we've purchased, why we've purchased it, and hopefully it gives you some ideas if you've been thinking about doing bulk purchasing yourself, just to kind of show you how it all does go. And hopefully it gives you the confidence to be able to make such a purchase yourself if it is something you've been wanting to do. As always, guys, thanks a bunch for joining, and catch you later.